It's time for my NFL Week 11 picks and predictions. You're watching the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. And welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. It is time for my NFL Week 11 picks and predictions. And man, last week I had an awful week, and it got even worse because for some reason last week 12,000 of you people decided to watch my picks video to make it my second most watched picks video ever, okay? And everyone had to watch as I got all my picks wrong. But you know what? It's time to do a little bit of a redo. We're gonna do it better this time, and hopefully I can acquire an audience that I had last week or similar to what I had last week, and we can actually show that I kind of know what I'm talking about. I'm not 100%, but damn it, I'm definitely not as bad as I was last week. I'm not going to talk about how bad I was last week because there's no need to, but I will say this: damn the referees in the Saints game, damn the Steelers for giving the Cowboys too much time, damn Bryce Petty for stinking, and damn a whole bunch of other crap because I got a bunch of games off. Damn Cam Newton for throwing a pick six. Damn you all. But we're going to do better this week. Real quick, when it comes to the SFV Pics Challenge, that is the Pics Challenge I host on ESPN, full with over 500 people. We have the Golf Chies currently in first place. Second place, we have Chase Lab. Third place, we have a tie, a three-way tie between Trial, or I think it's Try, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's TRIAJ, so like Try AJ 95, KMR TV, who actually makes videos on YouTube, check him out, and Daniel CM 52, all tied for third place. Again, if you finish in the top three, you will probably get a prize as soon as I'm no longer broke. Alright, so with that said, let's get into my Week 11 picks and predictions. We must do better this week. Let's start with the Thursday night football game between the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. And, this is tough for me because one of the reasons I did poorly last week was I went out on a limb a little bit too much. So I'm trying to be a little more conservative. Okay, I'm trying to tuck in my shirt a little bit, pull up my pants, vote Donald Trump. I'm trying to be a little more conservative to do a little better this week. However, I'm going to go with the upset here, okay? Because YOLO, I'm still a little left, and I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints to beat the Carolina Panthers here, okay? The Panthers lost to the Saints earlier this season. Now, this game was in New Orleans. Now was in Carolina. The Carolina Panthers had a chance to defeat and upset the Kansas City Chiefs last week. They couldn't get it done. The week before that, they barely beat the LA Rams. They haven't been that impressive, have been the Panthers. They did get an impressive victory before that against the Cardinals, but the Cardinals aren't that good either. However, the Saints competed with a Super Bowl contender last week, and before that had won 4 out of their last 5 games. I think the Saints are a better team right now, and they can take advantage of this porous Panthers secondary. They can throw it all over the secondary and find consistent and sustained success. I like the New Orleans Saints to upset the Carolina Panthers and to sweep the Carolina Panthers, and this game will eliminate the Carolina Panthers from playoff contention for the last time because coming into the season, everyone thought they'd be a Super Bowl contender, playoff contender, but after this game, I don't believe anyone will be talking about that. So with that said, let's move on to the Sunday games. And let us begin with the Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Bengals, they're just not very good this season, guys. That's just the damn truth. And now they're hosting this Bills team that went to Seattle and competed and played very well. Now they've lost, I believe, 3 straight games after starting 4-2, but I think they're hungry for a win. They've had a week to get ready. Now they're shaking up their secondary, and I don't love that. But all they really have to do is just find one moron to cover AJ Green, and then find another moron to cover Tyler Eifert. Okay, I think the second moron can be Zach Brown, and I believe the first moron can be Stephon Gilmore. So get those 2 morons to cover those 2 Bengals receivers, and then they can move the football, and then slow down the run game a little bit, and then Lorenzo Alexander should get after Andy Dalton. This Bengals offensive line is just awful. The Bills should do enough to beat the Bengals. They should, and I believe they will. So 2 upsets already. I'm saying I'm being more conservative, but I already have 2 upsets process. But from here, we get, a little smoother. We have the Chicago Bears at the New York Giants. And, I've been trying to be a little bit of a Bears supporter, just a little bit, because I don't think they're as bad talent-wise as a lot of people do. But now they're screwed, okay? Because Alshon Jeffrey is suspended for 4 games. He took some PEDs. And not only is he suspended for 4 games, I project that they may not even play him the last 2 games, and that this will be his last season as Chicago Bear. I don't see any way Chicago re-signs him. They've been looking for him to prove that he's a number 1 wide receiver with this suspension, and with him not doing so well in the past couple of weeks, I think he's done in Chicago. So I think this is a very unfortunate end for them. And also, Kyle Long has been injured for this football team. So you're talking about their 2 most talented and best offensive players now out. All they have is Cameron Meredith to move the football and Zach Miller. I'm not buying that. I like the Giants to win this game pretty easily, move to 7-3, and continue to contend for the NFC East. This division is not out of grasp yet, although I do project that the Cowboys will win it. Let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. And the Steelers, man, they stink on the road. They lost last week, but it was to a Cowboys team that's very good. But they stink on the road, man, and that's what concerns me, man. They went to Miami and they stunk. They went to Philly and stunk. They just can't play well on the road, and that scares the hell out of me. But this is the Cleveland Browns. And Hugh Jackson showed me last week that he doesn't give a fuck. And he's ready to lose every game necessary to get the first overall pick in the 2017 NFL draft. He showed me last week when he benched Cody Kessler. And I can't pick this team to win a game because I don't think they want to win a game. Now, when RG3 comes back, then maybe they sneak one. But until he comes back, I can't pick them to win one. I like the Steelers to win. It may end up being close, but I like the Steelers to win. Let's move on to the Baltimore Ravens at the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys 8-1. Don't worry, Cowboys fans. I ain't picking against y'all this week. All right, now I'm probably not going to pick against y'all for the rest of the season, except for, I think, once. I think you guys will twice, actually. I think you guys will lose at Philly and at New York Giants. And I know you're going to say, no way, we lose at Philly. Everyone thinks they're not going to lose in Philly, and then they do. Okay, the Falcons didn't think so, they lost. The Vikings didn't think so, they lost. Everyone thinks they're not going to lose in Philly, and then they do. And for the New York Giants, you lost to them week 1. They kind of have a perfect squad to go up against you. The weaknesses, the strengths, they don't match up. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Cowboys hosting the Ravens. And they're going to win, okay? They're going to win the game. What's interesting here, though, the Ravens should be able to slow them down a little bit. The Ravens have a very good defense this year. I mean, it's one of the best defenses in the league, one of the top 3 defenses in the NFL. The Ravens, not many people are talking about it, but this is true. But ultimately, I like the Cowboys to win. But I expect them to kind of sleep on the Ravens a little bit. So just look out for that. And Cowboys fans, they're going to be so pissed. How dare you say we're going to win? Barely. I hate you, you clown. Well, Cowboys fans. All right, let's move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Detroit Lions. And the Detroit Lions, they're 5-4, and I project that they're going to win the NFC North. However, they've been barely winning some games. In fact, all of their games, I think they barely won, by a touchdown or less, I believe. Maybe one game they didn't, but I'm pretty sure all their 5 wins have been by 10 points or less. With that said, I like them to win the game, but don't be surprised if this game is close, and don't be surprised if the Jaguars win. The past 2 weeks, they played pretty well against teams that are going to finish with at least an 8-8 record in the Texans and the Chiefs. Teams will be much better than that, and they've competed. They've only lost by 5, and then last week they lost by 3, and this week, their defense is playing better. The Lions, they're not really known this year to just blow people out. They don't have the run game to do so. They don't have the consistency to do so. So I think this game will be closer than a lot of people think, and the Jaguars may even upset, but I like the Lions to win at home. We move on to the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. And look, maybe I'm biased. Now my bias is going to show because I think this game is damn near 50-50. But right now, the Titans are playing very well. They've won 4 out of their last 6 games. Now, 2 of those losses in those 6 games, one of them happens to be to the Indianapolis Colts. And the Titans have not won in Indianapolis, according to someone that commented on my video, and I believe it. I didn't fact check it, but I believe this statement. The Titans have not won in Indianapolis since 2007. But I think the streak breaks here. The Titans are playing well. Marcus Mariota is back to playing at a very good level. In fact, not even back to playing at an elite level. I mean, this is the first time he's transcended his game to an elite level. He is playing like a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And the Indianapolis Colts, they saved their season, and they're certainly a force to be reckoned with. But I like the Titans a little bit more. And also, man, the Titans. And this is a good thing for them this season, but I kind of worry about in seasons upcoming what this is going to mean. They're very healthy. I think the Tennessee Titans are the healthiest team in the NFL. They do not have one significant injury. I mean, you can talk about Chance Warmack, or what's that idiot's name, the left guard, Quentin Spain. Who cares? They don't have one significant injury on this football team. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. Now, unfortunately, watch next year as they go through a bunch of injuries and they disappoint. But for now, they're freaking healthy. The Colts, they're one of the more injured teams in the NFL. Now, they've gotten healthier, but they still have their fair share amount of injuries. So these two teams, I feel, are very even, but the Titans have health and they have momentum. I like the Titans to win in Indianapolis for the first time, I believe, since 2007. We move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Bucs, they won last week, very surprisingly to me, because I had the Bears winning that game, but they won easily, man. The Bucs, got to give them credit. And I want to give them credit because I like the Bucs. I like Jameis Winston. So it's nice to see them win a game. However, I think they're going to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have been playing really well this season, man. They're 8-2 now. I didn't think they're going to win in Carolina, but they did. Now they host the Bucs. They should get it done, unless they really sleep on this team, which they might. But I like the Chiefs to win this game and to even cover the 7.5 spread. Bucs, I don't think this year is your year. Until you can get a number 2 weapon for Jameis Winston and move the football down the field consistently, I'm not buying it. I do like, though, that Doug Martin is back healthy for this football team, so he may make it closer than I project. We move on to the Arizona Cardinals at the Minnesota Vikings, and we're back to giving an upset, okay? I'm going to pick the Minnesota Vikings to win here. And remember how things changed before the season, or during the season, like at the beginning of the season, so many Vikings fans thought I was a Vikings hater because I picked against them for like the first 4 weeks of the season, right? Guess what? I picked y'all for the last 3 weeks. LLL for me and you. Okay, so what the hell? Now, you're at home. Okay, well, you're 3-1 this season. The one being to Detroit only 2 weeks ago, and it was a bad L. I mean, it was an overtime L, but it was an L you should have had. Okay, it was a close L, but it was an L you should have had. So you're good at home. We get that. And also, you look at the Arizona Cardinals, guys, they're just not very good, and I wish they were good, right? Because this moron, this idiot, this clown that you're looking at, he picked them. I did. I'm talking about it in case you didn't get it. I picked the Arizona Cardinals to go to the Super Bowl. I wish that they could win every game from here on out and prove me right, but they're just not good. They went to Carolina and they lost by 10. They tied with the Seahawks, which I guess is okay. And last week, they barely beat the San Francisco 49ers. This team isn't good. That's just the damn truth. And the Vikings have lost 4 straight games, yes, but they've all been to pretty good teams. And now they're back at home. They need to win a game. I think they muster everything they can and they win this game, and the Cardinals just come out slow again. Now, the Vikings are going to need to get some help from special teams because they can't win a game without special teams. But I feel like it's time for the Vikings to win a game, but this game will be followed by 2 losses, so they better win this one. Because if not, this team will be 5-7, and that would be really, really, really bad. They got to get it done. I believe they will get it done against this Arizona Cardinals team. We move on to the Miami Dolphins at the Los Angeles Rams. And, you know, I considered picking the LA Rams here. Okay, it's an upset pick. You hope that the Rams can play to their best of their abilities, and if they do, they can certainly win this game, and if the Dolphins sleep a little bit. But the Dolphins are just a better team. They're playing better. They've won so many games now in a row with Jay Ajayi playing well. I believe it's like 4, maybe 3 games in a row now. They beat the Steelers. They beat the Chargers last week. They're playing really well, this Dolphins team. When you look at the LA Rams, they're now starting Jared Goff. Okay, and they're going to be conservative with him. And there is a little bit of a mystique to these rookie quarterbacks when they make their first starts. Like, I can think about RG3, and I can think about, Marcus Mariota, and Dak Prescott actually lost. Carson Wentz. These rookie quarterbacks, they tend to have very good first starts for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe he has this type of performance, but right now the Dolphins are just a better team. They have Earl Mitchell that has came back, and he's been playing well. He should disturb the offensive line for the Rams a little bit. He and Ndamukong Suh and the rest of the defensive weapons that they have. So the Dolphins are a better team. It's not very close, so they should be able to go to LA and win. That's what I'm projecting, but I'm not that confident about it. In case you haven't noticed already, let's move on to the New England Patriots at the San Francisco 49ers, and the 49ers last week they actually competed. I mean, I'm so shocked. This team actually competed, went to overtime. Colin Kaepernick led his team down the field and forced overtime. Congratulations on that. Now you're going to go back to getting your ass kicked. Okay, New England is pissed because they got their ass kicked last week against Seattle. Maybe not kicked, but they lost. And they want to come back with a victory. I believe that they will come back with a victory and that they will defeat the San Francisco 49ers pretty easily. There's not much to talk about here. Let's move on to the Philadelphia Eagles at the Seattle Seahawks. And, I like the Eagles to compete here, guys. The Eagles, they've lost games. 3 of them, though, of the 4 games they've lost have been in the division, okay? And all of them have been close, at least by a touchdown or less, every single one of their losses. You look at Seattle. They've won games. They're certainly good, but only one of their wins has come by more than 10 points. That was against the San Francisco 49ers. This game will be close, but I like the Seattle Seahawks to get it done at home. Carson Wentz going to Seattle and winning with the receivers that he has, it just ain't happening. But man, I'm telling you, it's going to be closer than a lot of people project. We move on to the Green Bay Packers at the Washington Redskins. And I really sat and I pondered and I considered just thoroughly picking the Green Bay Packers to win in Washington here. Number one, because we saw last year, Aaron Rodgers went to Washington and he won in the playoffs, okay? And Washington looked like they didn't have an answer for Aaron Rodgers. Now they've signed Josh Norman, and they've made some defensive improvements. They have a better pass rush than they did last season. We saw this pass rush disturb Sam Bradford last week. And the Packers, they're just not very good. I mean, you lost at home to the Indianapolis Colts, and then you go and you get your ass kicked by the Tennessee Titans. And these two teams are not as good as the Washington Redskins. So the hope here is that the Redskins sleep on you and Kirk Cousins decides to have a bad game on the worst possible night. And man, that is possible. Man, that scares me a little bit when I'm picking the Redskins. But the Redskins are just a better team than the teams you've been losing to the last couple of weeks. You're not very good on the road. I like the Washington Redskins to get it done at home and defeat the Green Bay Packers. But I fear that the Packers will have a game akin or similar to what they had at Atlanta about 3 or 4 weeks ago when no one really expected them to win and they damn near won. So look out for that. But man, I think the Packers is a move here. I think the Redskins is the move here. We move on to the Monday Night Football game. Buenas noches, as this game is being played in Mexico City, Mexico. And I believe it's Mexico City. Anyway, and the Los Raiders will be going up against the Houston Texans here. And look, the Texans are such an interesting team. I mean, they're 6-3, but they haven't been very impressive. Brock Osweiler only threw for 99 yards last week? Oh my God. Now, with that said, the Raiders are going to win this game, most likely. I'm very intrigued from a Titans perspective because I'm a Titans fan. And I think we actually have a chance to win the division. If the Texans win this game, I believe it is over because the Texans will have proven to me that they're good and that they're going to go 10-6 at least. And we're not going to go 10-6. At least I'm not projecting we will. But if they lose and they lose considerably, then definitely I believe the AFC South is wide open. And by the way, I didn't mention this before. I should have. I really feel that this Indianapolis Colts versus Tennessee Titans game is huge. I think whoever can win this game might really win the division. I mean, you look at the Colts' upcoming schedule, it's pretty generous. I mean, they have some games that they have to win, like against the Steelers and against the Jets, which I believe they can. I think the Colts are still very much alive in this division as well. So if the Colts win that one, look out for the Colts to win this division as well. If the Titans win, look out for the Titans to win this division. So I'm very intrigued to see how good are the Texans. You're going up against the Raiders on a neutral field. Okay, somewhat neutral. I think there's going to be a little more Raiders fans, but it's going to be pretty neutral. Compete, okay? I don't want you to win. You can win, that's fine. If you can compete, then I might still pick you guys to win the division. If you guys get your ass kicked, I'm picking you guys to lose the division to whoever wins against the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. So, with that said, let's move on to my guarantees of the week. Last week, my guarantees were 3-4 because the Giants decided to lose by 1 point. To win by 1 point when I had them covering the -2 spread. Damn it, yet another incorrect pick for me that was oh so close. But this week, we shall do better. And let's start with 2 over-under plays. Number 1, the Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals. This over-under is currently at 47.5. That is about, 23-24 is what they're projecting. Are you guys nuts? These two teams can't score points consistently. The Bills, they can have their nice little offensive outings, but they're just not consistent enough. And the Bengals, they definitely can't score points right now. I like the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals to be under 47.5. We move on to yet another over-under. We have the Chicago Bears at the New York Giants. And again, the Giants, you guys expect them and the Bears to combine for 45 points? No way, no how. The Giants, their offense just isn't good, but their defense is pretty good. And same goes for the Bears, except their offense is worse and their defense is actually maybe a little bit better. So I like this one to be certainly under 45. I like both of those to be under. We move on to minus plus plays. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 6.5. Again, I believe they will compete with the Detroit Lions. I like them there. Miami Dolphins minus 1.5. I'm pretty sure that they're going to beat the Rams. I'm about 65 to 70% sure. And when you get the minus 1.5, I think you just take it and you take that 65 to 75% chance. We move on to the Bills plus 3. I like their chances to beat the Cincinnati Bengals, and then you give me 3 points? Oh, I'm taking those 3 points. Give me the Bills plus 3. New York Giants minus 7.5 against the Chicago Bears. I'm very confident that the Giants are going to win this game, considering the fact that the Bears do not have their 2 best players offensively. Give me the New York Jets minus 7.5 to win pretty easily, and we move on to my last play, the Philadelphia Eagles plus 6.5. Again, the Seahawks don't normally blow teams out, and the Eagles have not gotten blown out. I like the Eagles to compete and lose. Give me the Eagles plus 6.5 points. So there you go. Those are my NFL Week 11 picks and predictions. What are yours? Comment down below. I want to know if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to comment, like, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. Peace.